Alrighty, guys, it is 3:30 this Monday, July 14th. Time to wrap it up for today. And okay, so we kind of ran out of gas a little bit there at resistance. They just took it one level up here to the 63.15s. Just squeezed this one little leg higher. But then again, we had both levels. We had the 63.10s where they stalled for a good time. And then we stalled at the 63.15s for a bit. And then they're backing off a little bit. So I would probably expect this to maybe show some weakness going into the afternoon, either hold here or show some weakness. But it definitely, we started off this morning as a range-bound trading day, looking to sell strength, buy weakness. The only thing we've seen so far is kind of strength throughout the day, to be honest with you, but they haven't quite taken out our inner range. So these two levels, the 10 and the 15s, is what we talked about as the inner range. And above that, we were looking at the potential move to the upside. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think the market is just going to stay where it's at, maybe even pull down a little bit. So. And it's been a pretty slow market. We had like 680,000 on the micros, 730 on the minis, so it's not a whole lot of volume. So kind of crazy. You see that thing? Look at that. That's a thousand lot putting out, a 1,500 lot dropping. You see that they just ran the book right there? It's interesting. So I haven't really taken a trade. I took one more trade on the Nasdaq. I show you, but yeah, I've been waiting for them to knock it down. So far, it's been stubbornly holding on to the range, not grinding higher in one of those short squeeze kind of trades. It has been holding at the level. So I would start off range bound again. I would still look for shorts against these upper areas. Now, if they take out the 15s in the overnight, I would probably stay on the hop on the long side and see if they can take it higher. That's what I would do. If not, if you don't can't take it out, I would just stay range bound and look for a rotation back to the main. So that's the ES. Looking at the Nasdaq and the bonds. So bond market is just kind of holding in a range. They haven't backed off. They haven't taken it lower. They haven't taken it higher. It's an edge in between here at the 12, 16, 17s. Definitely I did not have. So that tells you a little bit how that 16 half buck is always kind of interesting. So, but so far bond market just range bound, not quite going anywhere direction. It's just stay in the range. Fade edges look to sell up to the 1304. I'd look to buy down to the 1216 and 1212s for rotations back up. On the Nasdaq, I did take one more trade. That was over here, and when it ran up here to this IJ, it was up here and trying to make hands. They started running it lower pretty hard. On the retracement here, I got short here right and before I start trading higher. I was prepared to repair it once. It didn't have to. I had a nice trade going there for a bit, but it was developing a little bit too slow. And then exactly right here, K period kicked in. And when K period kicks in, I don't want to be in that trade anymore. Because either it's going to run up or down. It's going to be a crapshoot. So I just got out of that trade, got a few more bucks, but I figured that was the best course of action. Sometimes yes, rack is run lower. Sometimes you're just on the wrong side of it. So uh, you never know. But it turned out that didn't go anywhere. It just kind of went sideways for even longer. So that would have been it was a good call to get out of the trade. And right now we're looking. I'm kind of still holding out for maybe a little bit of weakness going into the close. So that's what I'm looking at right now. So far it's holding on, but we'll see what happens in that last half hour. So three trades, four contracts, up 22. Not the whole big showing, but a little one at least. Looking at our Nasdaq and the Nasdaq and the gold. So Nasdaq, oil and gold. Sorry, oil and gold. Gold that's holding in a range hasn't gone. They're a little bit to the downside, backed off the new highs, so they're back there close to range, close to value. And I would probably look for them to retest this 40s in the overnight. So I was looking for lower prices, looking to sell strength, 60 ounce and the 67s for rotations down. If they trade above 67, 68, back on the long side again. And oil just kind of stalled here, but we didn't get a whole lot further. So they're back down in this lower range. And if you look at capital flow in oil, you can see this move to the upside got promptly reversed. We are back in this lower range again, and now we just start off range bound. Not necessarily looking for a move lower. I'm just maybe looking like at early weakness and see if they can test these lower edges, but chances are they're going to just stay in the range right now for a bit. So maybe a little bit lower prices, but I'm not looking at the big sell-off yet. When they get that Russia situation sorted out, I think we will see something happen. But at this point, I think that's the issue right now. Now, oil prices could be driven lower as part of the strategy to get Russia to pay attention, but that's a different story. Right now, I think the risk premium is still on there. All right, so that's oil and gold. I would stay range bound on oil, maybe slightly looking for early weakness. I would stay on the short side on gold just to get started as well. Now back to the ES, and let's see how this last half hour develops. At this point, looks to me like we are going to be in a pretty range bound scenario. So there you go. Alrighty, guys, we'll leave it there, and I'll see you back at bright and early tomorrow morning. You have a good evening. Later.